I mean, they're obviously very different, just physically. Men take up a lot more space than women. So, the pace of the game and the spaces that you're throwing to or attacking are different. But beyond that, I think, mixed has a lot of potential. And in my experience, playing on the World Games, I had a great experience with that team. And I think it's mostly because the men, took advantage of the women on the team. And I never felt like I was overlooked as a woman. And I think that team did a really good job of, playing to each player's strengths. And I think, if all mixed can be played that way, it's a great division. I would say the biggest change is just pure resources. There are so many more teams with coaches now, for example, and you see a lot of club women players getting involved in coaching, college or at the youth level. And I think that's really important, both for visibility. Well, I guess mostly for visibility. I think it's important for young girls growing up playing Ultimate to have role models that they can relate to. I think the more elite women we can get coaching, the better for women in Ultimate in general. I think as much progress as we've made in the women's division or for women in Ultimate, I think there's still a lot to be done. Women still have far fewer opportunities to play. So if you just compare, like the obvious example is the pro leagues for men and the lack thereof for women, but also like field space or having quality coaches helping to develop college and high school or youth level teams, youth level female players. I think that's an area that we can still work really hard to get up to par. I would love eventually to not, this isn't specific to Ultimate. I think for female athletes in general, I would love for there not to be this qualifier. When you think about the way we talk about Serena Williams, for example, is the greatest women's tennis player. Well, she's also, by most measures, the best tennis player in the history of tennis, right? And I think too many times we default in the way we speak about Ultimate or athletes to men. We need to think about like talking about man defense or stay on your guy or whatever. Those like little ways that we talk about sports and Ultimate often default to men. So I would love to get to a place where when you talk about athleticism or skill or feats, it's not just defaulting to men.